Hello everyone, this is Benyarko again, bringing you another lesson. This is a special request lesson on jazz piano techniques, and specifically the style of Monk, of Thelonious Monk. He is one of those composers and players that just changed the art form completely in terms of harmony, rhythm, and even what is called conventional piano technique. So I'm just going to do a brief overview of his style and what his style is about. This is part of a series on Monk. I'll go over certain chords and skills he uses in other videos and go deeper into his style. So you guys stay tuned and remember to subscribe. Okay? Again, if you need private lessons, my email is kbenyarko@gmail.com. And then my website is kbenyarkomusic.com. Okay? Also, check out some of my, lessons from my playlist. They will really help you play. All right, so let's dive right into it. The first thing I played was just a simple kind of blues stride. Where I went between the left hand and the bass notes, you know, um, in B flat. So whereby I just did tenths and the bass note. So that's kind of a stride piano. Why I played that is to understand the style of Monk. You really have to understand where he came from. Monk is a guy whose hero um, were people like James P. Johnson, Willie Lion Smith, and these were amazing stride pianists. You know, so Monk comes from that kind of background. He knows how to stride, and if you actually listen to his albums like Solo Monk and any album where he's playing solo piano, you can really hear, especially when it comes to the blues, you can hear that kind of stride sound. And he breaks the chords up. I was doing tenths like a Teddy Wilson will kind of do, but Monk might just play the bass and then a third and a seventh. Bass, a seven and a shell. And very sparse voicings. Whereby if I wanted to play a B flat seven, I might play it something like this. You know, I might play a B flat seven this way even, okay, or this way, or this way. You know, Monk, on the other hand, might just play the seventh, third, and the 13. With the bass notes there. You know, another way, another thing that he did differently was the way he thought of seven chords. Okay, so Monk always thought of seven chords as altered. So he might play the B flat seven, altered five, flat five, and it sounds like this. And sometimes you might hear him do those note clusters, so he might hit that. Okay, and then he played either the flat five, right, or the sharp five. Okay. Okay, and as you can see, I did a run there. So he thought of dominant chords as altered. He either thought of it as altered fifths, where you have the flat five or sharp five, or he would think of it as a flat nine chord. So a B flat seven flat nine would sound like this. Okay, so we have the B flat, the seventh, the third, sharp five, and the ninth, flat and nine, the B, right? Okay, so Monk thought of chords as altered, and because he thought of chords as altered, there are certain scales that give him the monkish sound, mainly because of the way he thinks about chords. The first one, which is very prominent in his playing, is the whole tone scale. So with the flatted fifth, he might play the B flat whole tone scale, right? So he plays it flat, all right? Or even the sharp five, he might play something like, let's say, the A flat whole tone scale, right? So if I played a sharp five, he might do something like. So there's a use of the whole tone scale. So he might, if I'm even playing any other key, I might use those whole tone scales, in terms of when I'm playing the dominant altered chords. So he might do something like this. So that's another part of his style, the use of the whole tone scale. Then another two other scales that he liked to use was the diminished scales, the two diminished scales. Now we have two types of diminished scales. We have the half whole and the whole half. Okay, so I'm using the key of B flat. All right, so we have two flats in there. Right, that's the key of B flat. So a whole half scale, diminished scale, will begin like this. We have the root, then we have a whole, half, whole, half, whole, half, whole, back to the root. Okay, and that's the whole half diminished scale. Okay, so he used to use in his improvisation, when you hear those dissonant notes where he's doing this, those are notes on that whole half diminished scale. Then he uses the second, which is a half whole diminished scale, which will start like this. So we're in the key of B flat. It will go half step, right? Whole step, half step, whole step, right? Half step, whole step, half step, back to the root. Okay, and that's the half whole diminished scale. So in terms of where he gets his dissonant sounds, well, you might hear him do, sounds like this, for instance. You see, he has the altered chord there, and then that's on the half whole diminished scale. All right, so I have the half whole, half whole, half whole, right? So you can play around with sounds from that scale, And like I said, a lot of whole tone scales. If you look at, let's say, the song Round Midnight, I'll play Round Midnight with, that's a lot of whole tone scale kind of how do I say it? Whole tone scales in there. So I'll just play, just ahead a little bit. So that's a whole tone because he has the altered note, right? Again. Again with the altered chords, right? Okay, then again another altered. Again with the altered. So there are a lot of altered chords, especially flatted fifth and sharp fives. Okay, another thing is the way he looked at an altered chord. So let's take, for instance, a chord that's used a lot in jazz. So A minor 7 flat 5. Okay. Okay. This is how I would voice it, right? A minor 7 5 5. Now they didn't really think about it as A minor 7 flat 5. People like Monk and Bud Powell thought about it as a C minor chord, right? So we have the C minor chord, right? With a 6 in the bass. So what's the 6 of the C? That's an A. So when you play the A, which is a 6 in the bass, you can play all the C minor voicings on top. And that's your A minor flat 5.